Thank you for joining me. I hope you can hear me. Thank you. God bless you. Hi, God bless you. Thank you all for joining me today. On this episode of Inside, thank you for joining. I can see you all from TikTok. Thank you for joining. God bless you. And those joining from Facebook, thank you for joining me on this exciting topic. It's going to be very educational. And if at any point you cannot hear me, please let me know that my volume is low. Let's do this together. So thank you. Hello, everyone. Official Nina, God bless you. I want to thank people that I'm seeing. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Obaseki, God bless you. Winnie Oge, God bless you. Victor, God bless you. Buki, God bless you. Mike Teaser, God bless you. Wisdom, Banu, God bless you. Babesco, Regina, everybody in short. The thing has gone. Esther, I see you all. Uche, God bless you. Thank you for joining me. So we are going to be discussing a very important topic today. Look, I'm a little stressed today. Oh Lord, God help me. And I thank you all. I believe this topic will be very educational for those of us, those of you that are married and those of you that are hoping to get married in your relationship. And, even in workplace, conflict resolution is a very important topic everywhere in our daily lives. We are faced with so much. Sometimes unexpected occurrences will just pop up. How do you resolve these conflicts? You understand? So that's why we're here to discuss this very important topic. And before I accept my guest today, Minister Chidor, she's a very highly intelligent woman. As a matter of fact, she has an invitation today, but she said, you know what, I'm going to make this time and we're going to have this topic discussed anyhow. I'm like, anyhow? She said, yes, anyhow. So I really want to thank her. I can see her already here. Before I bring her on board, I want us to say a word of prayers today. I hope you guys understand that unlike every other platform where we go and just do everything we want to do, this is a Christian, platform. This is a Christian podcast. So we have to dedicate every discussion and everything we do to the hands of the Lord. Father Lord, I just want to thank you for people who are joining, and I want to thank you for my guests today. I believe, oh Lord, that through us you will speak word of wisdom to your children on how to resolve conflict in our homes, in our families, within our siblings, and in the world at large, in the mighty name of Jesus. I pray, oh Lord, that at the end of this segment, you make us a better person. In Jesus' name, amen. So for those of us who are asking what the topic is today, the topic is how to resolve conflict easily. How to resolve conflict easily. That's the topic. Okay. I have tried to accept her. Yesterday, we actually started this topic. So I believe that for those of you who joined yesterday, I'm sorry, last week, we started this topic, how to resolve conflict easily last week. So for those of you who joined last week, we went over what is conflict. And, we started introducing how to resolve conflict. We spoke about the blame game and so many things. So today will just be a continuation with this beautiful woman of God that I have here with me to discuss this topic. Now, she is a writer. She has beautiful books that she has written. I would like you to also check out her page after this. If you have questions, sometimes you can tip in and ask her. She's highly intelligent and she's my friend and sister. And we are discussing this topic today. Woman of God, God bless you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. What about
Good,
you?
good. Thank you for making this time. For always being available when I call. You're a very tight schedule. I can understand, but thank you. I do appreciate this time. God bless you, man.
Thank you.
Um, Yeah. So, starting this topic, I just want us to, give a little bit insight and give the woman of God the floor, to continue. And I beg you, I want you to share our videos. If you're watching us from anywhere, from Facebook, and Brother Rav Jaya, God bless you. If you're watching us from Facebook, TikTok, it's going so fast, but I want you to know I see you on TikTok. Please, I want you to share this video, even on Instagram. Share it to your story, and some other persons might see and benefit from this. And as you do so, may God bless you in Jesus' name. So when I started last week, I told us something that conflict does not just, when we hear about a divorce, it's not something that started the same day. And it's just something that has aggregated, accumulated, and we could not resolve it when it was, in the initial stage of it. And we allowed the situation to grow, the love, the commitment, and the marriage itself. And that's why you hear people saying, I'm opting out of this marriage, I'm no more interested, and we hear about a divorce. And I told us last week that a conflict that is not resolved will accumulate. Now, when you don't resolve a conflict, it accumulates. And then accumulation of this conflict will result to bitterness. And when people are bitter, that is when you hear them say they want to separate, they want to live apart for a while, and they want to disassociate themselves from the other person. So from the disassociation, that's when you hear separation. And separation, once it has got into the point of separation, I bet you it is most likely, heading to a divorce. You understand? So we don't want the separate. We don't even want our conflict in our marriages to get to the point of separation, let alone a divorce. I know I was talking to a woman one time, and with everything she's been through in the marriage, I said, you know what? Why not try separation? She said, I've been separated all the time, so there is no point. It just has to end. I said, what? She said yes, and then she started telling me all the whole, stories and everything about her marriage. I'm like, God have mercy. There's so much that goes on, behind closed doors. There's so much, so much that we go through, and sometimes we make a place in our hearts to accommodate the pains and everything, and you don't even see it on the faces of people, and you just think, oh, all is all right with them. A lot of people are going through stuffs, but they don't just represent what they are going through. And that's why we're discussing this topic, so we would not be that person that makes the other one go through what they go through. Now, I wrote something down that when a man comes out and says that my wife left, we have more scenarios of men. A very few scenarios is where we have women who would, men who would leave. Most likely, most scenarios, it's the woman that actually leaves. And I was talking to somebody and I said, when a man comes and tell you my wife left me, if you're very intelligent enough, you ask him, engage him in some questions, some very key questions actually, and and then you figure out why this happened. And this is also vice versa. When a woman comes and says, that left me, engage her in some key questions. You see where the conflict was unresolved and what resulted to what. You understand? Also in marriage, I'm just trying to throw some random points before we get into the main topic. You cannot tell your spouse that this is how I am. If you have a particular way you are, please don't get married. Because in marriage, we have to both compromise to suit each other. If you know that your behavior, like my son Unbreakable came that day and said, if you have bad behavior, just stay in your father's house. Yes. There is how he said it, that it was very sentimental. That's what I don't agree. But the truth is, if you know that this is how you are, and how you are cannot move a little bit, it's just gonna be that way, static, not moving. Please remain where you are. Don't come and get married to somebody else's daughter and make her life traumatic because of how you are. And don't go get married to somebody's son and make their life very traumatic because of who and how you are. We have to compromise a little bit. That's why we're talking about this topic. That's why we have this topic today, how to resolve conflict easily. And another thing I want to tip in it, please, if you know you can no longer tolerate anyone in your space, don't plot ways to destroy them. Just leave quietly. I keep wondering how two people who shared a bed end up destroying themselves to the point where one plots how to put the other one in jail. And I am not just, you would say she's just talking now. As we go deep into today's discussion, I am going to tell us some realistic stories. Now, just it's not just stories. It's real life stories. And it's not she heard it from somebody. I am the first hand, I know the people, I identify with the people, so it's not, hey, it may be just gimmicks. No. So please, when you can no longer tolerate somebody in your space, as a partner. And if you think the best thing is to separate at that time, please do it. Don't destroy a man's life. Don't destroy a woman's life. You know, Phil from Facebook, Prince Phil, happy birthday, baby girl. She's my girl. She's my daughter from Unical, and I love her. I love her. She's been supporting. Phil, you had your birthday some weeks ago. I have not reached out to you as promised, but thank you. I can promise you that the data and everything you're using to watch this live is going to be covered by me. That's my little birthday gift to you. Just know I love you. And coming back to the topic, please, I beg you in the name of God, do not destroy the other person, because just because you can no longer accommodate them in your space. Just leave. Stop talking down, lying to people about them when you know you are the problem yourself and you caused the loss. Before we go, to this topic, I want to now tell us some common kinds of conflict in relationship and marriages. If you don't understand the common kinds of conflicts, then you wouldn't even understand how we can resolve this conflict. So I'm going to outline some of those common kinds of conflicts. Some of these conflicts, most conflicts arise from these issues, like communication issues. We have conflicts arising from that. Please, I would mention communication issue. I believe the woman of God will throw more light into that, that communication issues in marriage. In short, I'm going to leave it to her. But before that, I have one thing to say. If you have a conflict with your spouse, Cold War is never the best way to resolve that conflict. I have experienced where there is a conflict, and instead of talking about the issue or resolving it, you see the other person keeping malice, traveling, on purpose, or switching. They leave their phone on, but they block their spouse. They block them from all form of communication and block them for months while they're away. This is wrong. I have also witnessed a man of God who's a pastor comes in from somewhere else to the church. The wife comes in from the house. Nobody would ever know this happens. It is wrong. And how do you climb the altar? You're preaching to some people. As a matter of fact, we as people of God should live by example. So when you, as a man of God, you have a conflict with your wife that you should resolve, but you let it go by for months, and you actually come to church every Sunday, and you come and preach in church every Sunday to people, what are you preaching to them as a pastor? And your wife comes from the house with the kids, and they all meet you in church. And do you know, the pastors has a lot. I mean, a pastor's wife most times have a lot of things. You have to, it's just like molding a woman to marry a king. You have to be molded to smile in church, even when you're hurting. You have to be molded to see climb that same altar and hype your husband as the best man in the world. Well, you know it's not true. What am I saying? Cold War is not the best way to resolve a conflict. If you have done something, approach what you have done, acknowledge what you have done, and solve it. The solution to anything lies in our hands. You cannot even call God from heaven to come and resolve something. It lies in your hands. If you created a mess up, you can actually create a solution. Woman of God, I highlighted communication issues as some of the common conflicts we have. Most conflicts you see would arise from no communication. Please, I know this is your area. Can you give us more points and insights on how communication issues actually you know affect our relationship and all, and actually boost, instead of boosting our relationship, it boosts the conflicts even the more.
Okay. Thank you. All right. It's it's funny enough, but it's true that one of the biggest things that destroy a marriage is actually communication or lack of it, because it's not really what you say as much as how it is said that matters. Sometimes people talk. The fact that you're talking does not mean you're communicating. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can talk without actually communicating, because when you're communicating, there are two aspects of communication. Number one, you're listening, and then you're speaking.
Yes.
So if you're not a good listener, you cannot be a communicator. So are you communicating what the other person is going to understand? Are you communicating based on the issue at hand, or are you communicating out of a place of hurt? So that is one thing. And this is a skill. I call it a skill because it's something that a lot of people don't know how to navigate. And because of that, they're causing a lot of havoc in their relationship. It could be marriage, it could be work, it could be this, it could be, there are so many types of relationships. And once you master the act, it's an act, it's an art. Once you master the art of communication, half of your problems are solved. Sometimes people speak without thinking. You have to process. We all have filters in our mind. Process what you're about to say. This thing I'm about to say, am I going to communicate? That's why it's called communication. How is it going to sound in the ears of the person I'm about to tell this to? Will it sound critical? Will it sound judgmental? Because there are two aspects of criticism. If it's objective, I'm trying to build. I'm inversely telling the person, you have the capacity to do this, which is a beautiful thing. But if I'm criticizing, I'm destroying. So it could be critical, it could be constructive communication or criticism. So how am I going to present this? Even the Bible says that whatever we say, we should say it out of love. So in order for you to have the ears of whoever you're speaking to, you must process what you're about to tell that person, making sure that whatever you're telling them or you're communicating to them is something that is very crucial to the issue at hand at that particular time. Let's say, for instance, as a mother, your child wakes up and did not make their bed. Call the child and say, go and make your bed. But when you now say, you never make your bed, never? Now you're putting that person in a very defensive space where instead of hearing you, what you're telling them is a fact, but they're not hearing it. What they are now hearing is, I never make my bed. So instead of saying, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't make my bed, they are now going to defend themselves on the fact that you said never. Because they will try to tell you that yesterday, 2 days ago, a week ago, I did make my bed. So now, what would have been a small problem has generated into a bigger problem. And this is why people hold grudges. And you say, oh, I just told her that she didn't make her bed, and she flew. She didn't fly because of what you said. She flew, or he flew, because of how you said it. So instead of saying, make your bed, you attacked their personality. And that is where they are now going to base their response on. And that is why in most relationships, communication or the lack of it creates more problems. Instead of building a bridge, it creates cracks in the very fabric of that communication, making the people involved do what? Go more apart instead of bringing them back together. But where there is communication and you're able to process what you're about to tell that person, then you're saying it with love, you're saying it with empathy, then they're in a better situation to hear you and then to respond to what you're saying.
Yeah, thank you. Emotional intelligence is effective communication. Yes, I promise. God bless you. That's true. I mean, you just threw a huge light to this, to communication. And there's something I noted. You said when you say you never made your bed, it means for the tense, let's say this has been going on for 3 months, right? And if that person made up their bed for only one day in that 3 months, in that 90 days, you cannot use the word never.
Never. Exactly.
You can either say you oftentimes don't, or you often, but that, as long as they did one good thing one time, you can never use the word never. And that's why we have problems where people will say, you never loved me. You never. If that man loved you one time, or that woman loved you, there was a time. You can never say never. You can like, you used to, but what's going on? Or we used to be in love. So please take key, she said something very interesting, because a lot of people fall into that. We just want to be angry and we just use the word never. You've never done this. You remember they've done it sometime. You just, you don't just want to understand that they've done it because you're angry. Thank you so much, Pastor Chinedu Kelvin. God bless you. Pastor Chinedu is a pastor, is a man of God, resided in Enugu. God bless you, sir. I'm happy that you're here. God bless you. And Mrs. Irene Ugochukwu is in Dallas. God bless you. Thank you for joining you all on Facebook. And everybody, Mr. Ayo Bemi, God bless you so much. Now, the next common, most conflict arises from this issue. The next one is financial disagreements. I know some of us don't want to talk to that one. One of my daughter is here. Her own is, my money is my money. My husband's money is our money. So, so this is one area, that is very important, and we need to actually tackle and actually clear, because financial issue has caused a lot of conflict in marriages. Is either the man is not supplying or bringing enough to provide, or the woman is not bringing enough, or they think that this money that they are both bringing to the table is being utilized in places that it should not be utilized. I want us to understand, for those of you who keep saying, it's not like I'm going out of the topic. I'm just trying to have us. Oh, my microphone has been off. Wow. It's not like I'm trying to go, out of this topic, but I'm just trying to have us understand a little bit. For the men who keep saying that fathers marry 10 wives, polygamy, I've heard so many of them call me and talk about adding more women. Let me tell you, and I'm going to say it right now. Any woman who marries a man who already has a wife is not marrying him because of love. It's marrying him for benefits. I'm saying that. It's marrying that man for benefit and not love. If you know that somebody is married and you come and you see, your girlfriend can never love you more than your wife. Don't deceive yourself. That woman out there that is doing something in hidden, doing something that she's obviously not proud of to let the whole world know, and that you are not proud of to let the whole world know, you can't justify that, you can't call it love. And a woman who adds herself to the numbers of the wives of a man has not and cannot truly love that man. It is for that thing that you are providing, the money that you have is why she is there. A woman who is self-sufficient will not be a second wife. A woman who is self-sufficient will not destroy a home to displace another woman. She will place more values in herself than do that. And one thing again I want us to know is, you all mistake leech to love. They are the first letter from both words is LL. A woman who marries you knowing that you have other wives is a leech. It's not love. And you know what leeches do? Maybe you should type the word leech.
They suck
A
blood.
leech. The job of a leech is to suck and suck and suck
Until there's nothing left.
until there's nothing left, and that would go. A leech would not give. It only takes. And it's clear. Most women who marry men who are already married would definitely go take, and they don't give. I have somebody who's joining me right here today. He's here, so he knows he's the one I'm talking to. I got talking to him. He's based overseas, and he told me, some will be saying they suck blood. Okay, you people that want to add wives, I'm not telling you guys the truth, and I'm happy you all are agreeing with me. So I was talking to him. He told me he wanted to get married, and we're talking, and he told me his previous experiences. And one of the things he said he met a lady based in Nigeria, and this lady, when they got talking, he asked her about his her family, her mom. And she said that the mom is a third wife. And he said, first of all, that was a turn off. He said, your mom went and married. It means she married the man. This is a man who's saying this for something, for money. If your mom can marry somebody for money, how much more? How, this is it might be your orientation too. And then he said he proceeded to ask the woman, if you see a multimillionaire right now wants to marry you and he has two other wives, can you add to the numbers? She said yes. She would be a third wife gladly. And he said that was the greatest red flag that he saw. And then he left that relationship. This person I'm talking to is on this platform and live watching me. So let us be careful, right? We're talking about financial this thing. And again, I want us to understand that a woman who brings so much to the table would disagree with some financial decisions that you make. And that's the truth. Because a woman who brings money to the table wants to be sure that the money is used for the family. And that this money, if the raining days comes, God bless you, Tom Drives. God bless you. Thank you for loving this program. If something happens, you are responsible enough to take care of them, of the family. I have a true life story to tell us before I ask the woman to throw more light on financial disagreements, and how we can resolve that in marriage. Now, there is a man who is a truck driver. This man drives trucks for others. And there was this time he started complaining of money. Now, the wife that he brought the wife from Nigeria here. The wife has come to join him. She struggled through school, nursing school, and graduated. In short, there was even some conflict where he refused to assist in any way, but that one is just by the side, because if I want to say it to be a lot of stories, so let's just go straight to how I know of the story. And the wife, now seeing that the husband has been complaining about trucking and saying that there are no more jobs like that, from China being the whole silent battle with the US, the wife now said, okay, would it be good for you to have your own bus truck? He said yes. So after complaining of financial issues getting load, jobs, the wife now showed him a bus truck one day she saw from a site that somebody was selling. And he was like, I don't want to see it. She said he dashed it out. And the woman said she knew why the husband dashed, the idea was because, of course, how can you've not been able to save money, how can you buy a bus truck? As at that time, she said she went to her job, emptied her account, borrowed money from her job that would be taken from her paycheck weekly, and gave it to the husband and told him, she priced the truck behind him and got the amount down to like 12, 13,000 or something like that, that she said. And then she told the husband, we can go get this truck and I have the money. He was like, what? She said he has the money. So he collected the money from her. They both went to the place to get the truck. He bought the truck and started driving the truck and registered his own company. But there was something that she said happened. She said they sent a full statement of accounts to the home one day. And then she looked at the statement of accounts. And when she looked at the statement of accounts, all the money that this man was making twice or even, you would never see a zeal from this man to the wife. Because, of course, women like that are self-sufficient, would take care of the family, does not rely on the man to give them money. But she said that was not even her pains that the man doesn't give her money. She works and makes her money. But that her pain was that every week, at least twice to three times every week, this man sent money to a particular account. She called that, I'm not going to call the name out that she called. The account sends money to his girlfriend. And this same girlfriend that he sends money to is somebody that they have, personally, I physically had an altercation with, challenged each other. And she said, leave my husband alone. And the girlfriend cussed him out. And this is the same girlfriend that this man was sending this money, this woman's, the money that she gave him to buy a truck, he was using it to give the woman the money. Now, as painful as this is, right, she does not need money from the man, probably because she's also providing. When I tell you financial agreement, I had to tell you this story because it's heartbreaking. When she saw the statement of account, she called the husband and said, "Are you giving Ngozi all my money? You're making all this money and you're giving her. You're not even giving me, but you're giving her." She said the husband asked her one question, called her name out. She said yes, and said, "Are you the one working for me?" She said no. "Are you the one making this money?" She said no. "She, I'm the one making the money." She said yes. He said, "Then you cannot tell me what to do or who to give the money." Now, officially, Nina, I'm going to ask you before I alert my woman of God. In short, let me allow the woman of God first, because we need to hear her and the highly intelligent and considerate, rational advice she would give concerning the scenario. Woman of God,
Yeah.
if a woman comes to you to discuss these personal issues with you, what would be your advice to her? She's clearly very hurting.
That's a tough one. This is something that you definitely, if somebody tells me something like this, to be honest with you, I won't say anything right there and then. I will have to process it first, pray, because it's a very, very delicate situation. You don't want to, as a fellow woman, looking at the insensitivity and the audacity, I must say, of the man. And of course, some men here will disagree with me because they are men and they don't really see things from the point of view of right and wrong. I don't take sides. I only take sides with the truth. I always say it. But some men, because they are men and they think any man can do anything, especially, unfortunately, men from our own region. So that's why I said the audacity of the man and the insensitivity. Here is a woman that borrowed, a wife that borrowed, emptied her own account, borrowed, so that they can take it out of. And then this is how you respond. A man that is a little remorseful may not say anything or may apologize. But to even ask her those questions, that is ingratitude, number one. And that is a man with a sense of entitlement. So if I have to allow my emotions take over me, I may say give a counsel that may not help the situation. So a situation like I'll tell her, first of all, let me think, let me process it, and then pray about it. But the way, eventually, what I might ask her to do will be, if you guys, because we learn from our mistakes, if a situation, first I would say what I would do in a situation like this, I will start another account. And I may not, in a situation where he has that kind of urgent need for money, I may not be able to fund it because the one that was done previously didn't. Because when you did it, in a marriage, when the man falls, the woman falls. When a woman falls, because if the two have become one, what affects one should affect the other. So when she did it so that, number one, that's a woman that has respect for her husband. So she wants him to rise, because in rising, you'll be able to take his place as the father of the home. But if this is what he did, then it shows his inability and irresponsibility as a husband and a father. So now that you've already married that man, you're not going to leave the marriage. So you ask yourself, moving forward, what am I going to do? So that could mean setting another account, because in a situation like this, money is not coming in. So I have to take care of the home. I have to take care of the kids. So, but will I now divorce him or attack him further based on that? No, because two wrongs can never make a right. There are certain things you close that page knowing I made this mistake once. I'm not going to make it again. I'm going to make a wiser decision in the future, even if I have to, because personally, I don't believe in people just saying, I'm sorry. Your actions moving forward, I believe in
The man
restitution.
never even said, "I'm sorry." And that's the
Yeah, that's
thing.
what I'm saying. So yeah, that's why I said in a situation like that, where that's why I use the word audacity, and I also use ingratitude and insensitivity. So in that situation, I will not even, because driving it further, you know that you're not going to get any positive response from him. It's going to develop more cracks in the walls of that marriage. So if you are still bent on, so what you can do, or what I would do, is set up another account. And I know that with this account money going in, I'm going to use it for the house. In the future, if he decides to come around, that's fine. But if not, then I know because I'm not one person that when I make a mistake, I start digging, going over it, overthinking it, because it's gonna lead you down a path that you never be able to come out
Hey,
of.
you see
So
why I
think
said, okay, you see why I said financial disagreement is very key because with what she said the husband kept saying that if you cannot bring money to the table, it means the marriage is not going to stand because this country is meant for two people. And this was one of the constant words the husband kept telling her. If you won't keep your money, me say you go day alone because this country is meant for two people. And Mr. Black Mentor, you said you already disagree. You don't even you
disagree with
and
what?
he said he does not want to know what the answer is. He has already disagreed because we are women. This is not fair. And I want to give a shout out to him for joining us today. Mr. Black Mentor is a multimillionaire here in the US. He's the owner of, he's a big real estate guru. And thank you so much for joining me, Black Mentor. God bless you. So, officially, Nina, if you're the woman, what would, how would you react? How would the marriage be? What's the face of that marriage going forward? After knowing that the money you used, thousands of dollars. Oh, Black, he said he was kidding. I know he was just joking. Thousands of dollars, and
It's a
the
tough situation.
man uses it. He doesn't give you a dime from starting the business. You give him money too, but his girlfriend that has confronted you before is now the one enjoying from your labor. How would you? What would be the face of that marriage?
Well, first of all, some women do too much. If you know this man is not an ambitious person, he has no goals in life, why would you want to take that kind of risk? Personally, if I know that my husband is going to embezzle that money, before I get that loan, he's going to sign undertaking that he will be the one paying for it. If he doesn't pay for it, then they will repo the truck. If we agree on that, then I can go and get the loan. Because if we don't have an agreement, so I'm going to be paying for the loan I took in my name for you, why your side chick is somewhere eating the money. If your side chick cares so much about you, why is she not putting effort to see you be a successful boyfriend or sugar daddy? So before I venture in such a kind of thing, there should be a written agreement.
No, there's
Agreement.
no way to
Can
repo the
I can
truck because it
I
was
say
bought
something?
outright.
Can I say something here?
Mhm.
Can I? The issue here is because, from my understanding, the wife got to know about the side chick after. So you're not
No,
going to go
before
into,
she has always
oh,
knew. She always
she
knew
knew
she yes
before
that he
that
has
he
this
had a
side chick.
girlfriend.
But
Okay, then I
side chick
totally
shouldn't
agree with.
stop you from doing what you have to do as a wife for your
Okay.
husband, right? You don't limit what you have, what you can do to see your husband grow. That's why they are called side. He's by the side. She's by the side. I'm sorry. So she knew about everything. She knew who he was, but it didn't stop her from being kind to her husband.
Well, in a situation like that, because I didn't get that part. But if I knew from the beginning that he had a side chick, I probably would not have gone all out. I could give him a little bit to help, but not go into the depth of making myself, emptying my account, taking loans and stuff like that. If I knew he had a girlfriend, I wouldn't go that far.
Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well,
I
there's so
might
many things that
support him in a
happen.
little way that at the end of the day, the impact will not be that terrible on me. But to go that far when I know that he has this other thing, I probably will not do it. So that's the part that I missed at the
You know,
beginning.
see, marriage is very
It
complicated. And one thing
is.
I hate, or one thing I would not want in a marriage, is when people not have reservations. I'm serious. But I used to say have no reservations, no matter what, because that's when you start having those reservations. That the other person knows there's a reservation. He knows your capacity. A man knows when they are married to a very handy woman, or they know your full function. And when they say you're withdrawing, they know it's no more like that. So she went through all these things, but I can tell you that this woman never stopped. Apparently, right now they are divorced because this is, so he moved out of the house to be with that same lady, and other people that he has. But she said she never stopped doing what she could do. She even bought a house, she took some loans, and they bought a very big house in Nigeria. She said the day he was leaving the house, she gave him the documents for that house. She gave money to have a 36 rooms hotel in Nigeria. She said even her sister could not work there, and he took everything while they are today divorced. So
Made a
you see,
mistake.
marriage, you call that a mistake? I think she was
Yeah.
virtuous. I think it is
Not to
the
a
right
man
thing to
that
do.
is not, for you to, like I said, in order for you to, it's like sticking your neck out for somebody that will be the one to cut it. Why would you do that? The limit, the extent to which you go to with someone or for someone depends on their credibility. Because I remember growing up, there were certain things my father, growing up, and I grew up in a very strict, disciplined, because my dad will always say, I'm a man of integrity. And you guys know that in this state or in this city, once my name is mentioned, the first thing people say, man of integrity. If anything, any reason, and my father was like, needed to go to your school, he will ask you first, did you do it? Tell me the truth, because if I go there and I find out that you lied to me, you know what that means. So what I'm trying to say is, when you on because my father to extent, but if my dad knows or knew that you were right, he will go to every length to protect you. But he will say, I don't want to go out there and make a fool of myself when I know that you did wrong. So let us settle it here. So what am I trying to say? When you have a spouse that is incapable of handling finances, and you know that you're going to put yourself through this pain when at the end of the day, it's going to be misused. Why would you do it? That's my question. So I'm not, since you're already in the marriage, there's certain, but there's how far you can go, even as
But
a
isn't that
parent,
the
how far you can go.
definition of
Because
a
if you keep
biblical wife?
rescuing someone, I'm sorry?
Isn't that the definition of a biblical wife?
No, 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 I don't know. It's not. It's not. A virtuous, for you to be a virtuous woman, virtue, you can only invest in something that will bring what? You have to have a return on your investment. My brother comes now and tells me there is this business that is going to cost 1 million naira. And I know that my brother is not responsible with money. As much as I love my brother, I'm not going to do it. That is called tough love. Does it mean I love him less? No. And somebody else can come and tell me about a business that will cost 10 million. And I know that with that 10 million, he's going to bring another 10 million. I'll do it. So that's what you're looking at. The
But what if
integrity
this
of
reservation? We're
whoever
talking
you're
about
involved
how
with.
do we disagree now and agree at the same time. We're talking about conflict, right?
Yes.
But these answers we are getting is not going to resolve conflicts, because if this woman stops giving this help and this support, or have a retrace of her actions, there's going to be lingering conflict in that marriage. When there's this
Okay.
financial disagreement, how do you want this woman?
Okay. So now my thing is, even with all that she did, the conflict was still not resolved because you said the marriage still ended. So
Yes.
my question, I think there are certain things that I do understand that, we make mistakes, we grow up, and we should learn from these mistakes. What some of the mistakes that we make in life, if we knew better, they could actually be avoidable, because before two people get in a relationship, they should sit down, because that should be the time of courtship. There should be questions asked. And that's why I always tell people, have a vision of what you want. Because in that vision, there should be an alignment. In that vision, you can see the red flags. If I don't know where I'm going, I wouldn't know when there is a detour. But when I know where I'm going, when something doesn't look like, or is not in alignment with where I'm going, it's easier for me to pick it up. So now, when two people are about to go in a relationship and you have a vision of what you want, that is why that word courtship comes in. But I think the mistake we make is 3 months into the relationship, it's already intimate. And once you become intimate, it's like a detour. The course of that relationship changes. It becomes just sexual. But when you know where you're going, you understand you have a purpose, these are things you must discuss. What is your level of communication? What is your mode of communication? What is your love language? How do you handle finances? These are things. But if somebody is not responsible with money and you know you're a planner, that's a marriage that cannot work. You can tell that from the beginning. So these are core, when you have core values, finances, especially the things that we know are the major things that can end a good, potentially good relationship. These are things that we should take seriously. Take it to the Lord in prayer. He will show you some things if you're really, really honest about having a successful marriage. But the sad thing is that people go with the wrong reason. Oh, he's rich. Oh, he's tall. Oh, she's this, she's that. And then by the time you go in, you start seeing these things that if you had asked God, people marry produce instead of purpose. Produce in the sense that he has a good career. She's beautiful. That's a produce. But when you're marrying purpose, this is where I'm going and I cannot afford to be derailed. So you will be able to ask those core questions. And when you see that somebody is irresponsible with money or lazy, like my sister said, that's a no, 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 no. It doesn't matter. Some people go, oh, it's already, I'm getting too old. Let me settle. You're going to settle to unsettle. Definitely, you will settle to unsettle. So when you look at this, you watch that person. How do they handle money? How do they feel about money? Do they have a sense of entitlement? You see, but these are things you watch. And believe me, God will open your eyes and see. When you want to see something, you will see it. What you don't want to see, you will not see because your filters will not even show it. There's what is called the reticular activating system, and this is something that when you focus on it, you will see it. But when you're not looking for, you won't find. But when you focus on something with prayer, you will see it, and that will help you make an informed decision. So
Thank
that
you so much, one of
way we
God.
can avoid all these pitfalls.
I can't see anyone.
Okay,
We
I
can
don't know
see
why this
you.
happens,
You just
but we
waved.
can see you.
You just
Oh,
waved.
Murray,
okay.
why Saucy Murray? Why are you saying that when it comes to examples, it's only men we are using injurious examples? So we have not. No, no. Now God will
My
help
brother,
you.
this is not a man-woman thing because this is
Now,
a woman that she talked to us about. That's why it seems like it's on the side of the woman. So
yes,
it's not for me. I never support gender. I just go by the truth. So I just want to make that clear.
yes.
Oh,
So Black Mentor, why
He
didn't
said,
you come and
okay.
join us? Sister Mary, I don't know, your network should be bad, or maybe it's just general Instagram. When you add 4 people, when you're 4 on the platform, it just messes up because it's so blurry right now. But I hope it
really?
settles and clears out. Yes, it is. But
I believe it.
I hope that soon it clears out.
I believe
Sister
it will
Mary, since
settle
you
down.
said what you said, I'm going to ask you a question as the man. I'm going to ask you a question as the man.
Okay.
Um, how would you advise this woman if she came to you?
I will tell her to, work with her man, work with her husband, you know, since they are one. Although I've been having some network glitches, so I did not really follow up the conversation. It was just breaking and reconnecting
Okay.
my own side. But so far, so good. I believe in unity. I believe that a woman is a nurturer, right? Just like a woman will expect her mother or her father to accept her whatever thing she does. So I believe if modern women should inculcate that in their marriage to know that anything materialistic stuffs come secondary in a marriage, right? So you just need to support it. Though it's really painful, though it's painful, it's disappointing, but you like the Bible said that there is tribulation in marriage, and that could be one of those things, right? So you're in as much as because I believe that dialogue can settle so many things in marriage. Let's be very honest about this dialogue. Maybe no matter what your husband did to you, and you call him to order and say, see, you continue to like talk to him. He married you for a reason, and he saw other women before he got married to you, right? So I believe a woman should uphold that value to always try to dialogue with her husband, because if I say this thing now, so many women will not like it. Not every woman has a second-hand value. Let's be very honest about it. So if you
say that
say
again, not every woman has what?
second-hand value. So whatever
What
thing your
do you
husband,
mean second-hand value, please? Explain so we can understand better.
what I mean by second-hand value is that maybe due to your husband did one or two things, you say no, you prefer to stay alone. Sometimes you think that there are so many men out there that will take good care of you, and when you go to that place, maybe you are not really shaped like before. You have had some children and all those kind of things. So maybe the men will just have you to mess around with you, and later they will disappear. So basically, second-hand value is a woman that when you see this woman, no matter the children she has, character-wise, physical appearance, top-notch, like Mama over there. You feel me? So,
Don't use me as a
like,
sample for the nonsense you are saying.
no, that is not nonsense. I'm just trying to clarify what I meant by second-hand value woman. Okay, most of these women who come online to talk, they don't have any second-hand value. To be very honest, maybe men will not tell them, but I will tell them.
You ask a
Second-hand value. I think that's a totally different, from my understanding. Second-hand value. When you say just like a vehicle that is second means it's been used. I don't know.
Yeah, of course. A woman who has given birth, married before, right, is second-hand value in my own opinion. Eh?
Sesimuri,
This is
you're
off
not
point.
okay.
This is off point. Mama, you ask a question
This is not
about
okay.
the man who they fought trust for. He is saying the man and the wife should work together. So if a man opens a business, multi-millionaire business for the woman, she embezzles the money. She couldn't give an account of it. So should the man overlook it and then set her up for the second time for the business she embezzled that she has not account for? So let's know, because he feels like he's missing the point. So we need to go back to the question so he can explain
Like
better.
the flip.
Now, like what I said, right? God has been patient on us, and we also have to be patient on whosoever. That's why, in my own opinion, I don't really make too much emphasis on money or materialistic things, right? If my wife pays me in business, pays me multiple times, right? I will try to push, and I would like to know. And maybe if she try to take responsibility, right? Because I believe we should grow, right? And I don't just need to hate you because you wasted my money. It's painful, right? But let's understand that this person is human being, and this person needs to be carried along no matter what, right? So that is just my
Sesimuri,
own
you're not
opinion.
saying anything.
No.
I'm going to tell
Yo,
you. You are everywhere. You're just saying nonsense. I'm sincerely, I'm telling you this.
Okay,
You people,
maybe so.
you people are just saying nonsense.
Okay, maybe because I did not follow, like I said before, maybe I did not follow the conversation serially like that. But based on the ones that I've heard, because I heard when you made mention of borrowing money to establish business for the husband and all the
And
rest,
that
and
girl is eating the money.
there you
It's
go.
not
That's
even her.
what I wanted to ask.
Oh, you
He
know
said
the
squandering, not just
conversation, and
squandering
you said
on
she
a
should bear it
woman.
like that.
huh?
You heard the conversation. You said the woman should bear it like that and be patient with the husband
Squandering
because
the
women don't have
money
second-hand
on
value.
another woman.
That's what
See,
I'm saying. So if a man opens a business for a woman,
That's why I like your question.
she embezzles the money, she squandered everything. Can the man still go ahead with the same energy, the patience, the love, whatever he had to her, and then open up a business again where she cannot give an account for the previous one she embezzled?
Okay,
no,
let's
we talk. No,
before you go. I have one thing I want you to
with
also
all
react to because your
honesty,
network
no.
is
With all
very blurry.
honesty, no. If that is the question, no. But I was just thinking that maybe it was first occasion and all the rest, and since they are family, they have to like overlook some things and move on. So, with all honesty, if you don't give account, I think you need to give account. Then we can move further.
Okay, can I say something? Because she did not just say he squandered it. He has a mistress. So how can you move on when the money is being spent on a mistress? You can't just move on without addressing the issue. So that's
Okay,
where the missing thing.
that of the mistress aspect. I think I think women should support women. I said so. If the husband uses the money to maintain another woman totally and forget about his wife, or he was still remitting to the house, let me know.
No, whatever it is, remitting or not remitting, you say women should support women. How do you mean?
If, if your fellow woman is benefiting from your husband and your husband is still coming home to you, you at least
God will punish the person that did you. You see, I will not curse you.
no.
See,
That is that
whoever
is
laid
that
this
is the
curse on men, God will punish that
see,
Mindset.
person.
you
Whoever laid
no
this
no
curse on most men,
that
I
there
bind
is
and I
no cause.
cast you in Jesus' name.
Wow.
You see, you see why they have troubles in marriages. Women should
Yes.
support women. So as the wife in the house now, it's my money they are using to support another woman.
Then you should
This is our black mentor.
understand.
These people wants to get me out of character on this program. I refuse to do that.
No, women should support women. That is just the truth because it's better.
In
Okay,
what way? In what
Now,
way?
maybe
Is
men will
it a
start
wife?
supporting men very soon. Sure,
eh?
now I'm
Mama,
right to
women
support men,
supporting
right?
women. In what way? Is it a
Exactly.
wife support the side chick
That is
or the
what he's
side chick
telling you.
support the wife? In what way? Please explain.
And we are talking about resolving
Please.
conflict. Oh, this guy is just hyping the conflict. Sister, I will move you now.
No,
Just go, just go.
remove me.
You are
Don't
giving me
remove me
headache.
yet. Now we still have more vital things to discuss. Remove official name now, please. Bring another man. Let him
Guys,
join me. A man
no,
that will.
no come from you. No come from you because you go collect. You will join me here. No just go direct.
You're even telling me what to remove.
That means he
Like,
came because of me.
No,
I'm very sorry, you be the one I will remove at the end of the
no,
day.
no, don't
Women
remove me.
supporting
Don't remove me yet.
women. Why
Mama,
should
bring.
support her husband's side chick? Or side chick to support the husband's
Exactly.
the man's wife.
Wow.
I've seen
What
a,
a word.
I've seen a woman that tells her husband that bring this woman come house now.
Is that the
Not
right?
to
Is that normal?
do.
Is that acceptable? The fact that she
Goodness.
did it does not make it acceptable. We're
Women of
Christian.
God,
But it
I'll
is
just
what it
move
is.
to the
Remember.
next point.
It is better.
Men.
It is better to what is that saying that they say that draw your enemy close and watch your close
Wow.
people.
Mama,
Bring that person
And
that
the
if
Bible recommends it.
that
The
that
Bible
woman. No,
recommends it.
you people might not find sense in what I'm saying. That woman that have been eating your husband's money. If you ask your husband to bring that woman close, you also benefit. That is women supporting women. You
Oh,
people will not
praise
benefit.
like
God.
it,
So
but it is what it is.
if your sister now is married
Mm-hmm.
and then you are helping her one way or the other, her husband is doing something else, you tell her to tell the other to bring side chick into the family.
If if that will make the man, do you want your man to go forward or to go down? Do you want your
We
man?
want
Do you want
to
him
go
to?
So
forward
he
or
should
go
go
down. That
forward
lies in
at
the
the
ground.
expense of her emotional health.
Oh my goodness.
This emotional health. Now, so
Sister
women
Maria,
they
I'll
talk
soon
emotional
remove you
health.
now.
This,
Don't see you're saying it's nonsense, so I'm not ready for it today. You see,
Yeah.
you,
Eh,
I'll
no,
ask you
no.
one question
Cynthia,
now before I
I
remove you. Because
You
your
people,
network is.
no, my network is okay. You people should not play this politics. Women, when it comes to men, they always have emotional problem, everything, mental this one, mental health, mental that one, but they know they give up. Oh. So what I'm saying is that it is better. Maybe you can ask other people, though some people might look
Um,
it not to be right. But when you tell your husband, when you give your husband that privilege to bring that side chick home, you will get peace.
that's
You will not believe this
nonsense.
thing. You
Let's
you
move
call it
forward.
nonsense. Do you want peace or you want destruction? Right? Do you want peace or you want destruction? You tell your husband, honey, please, that woman, that my rival, that my this, that my that. Can you just bring her
You see why
home and
most
watch?
women do certain things to men and you tell them don't do it. It's this mentality. Let me move
Eh?
forward. The next, you know, Jesus Christ. common kind of conflicts and where we have a lot of issues in marriage is intimacy and affection. Now, in
Do you know?
intimacy and affection,
Mhm.
Sister Mary, just stop it. I'll soon remove you, anyways. This, intimacy and affection is like discrepancies. We have, emotional and intimacy need. Now, I'm going to tell you guys when we talk about intimacy, a lot of people mistake intimacy for just sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before I go deeper into this question, I want to ask Sister Mary something because his network is distorted, and I'll ask him these questions, and then he would remove himself, not officially, Nena.
But
A
my
married,
network
a
is not
man,
disturbing us right here.
a man here in Dallas. As a
Mm-hmm.
matter of fact, I know him. Got married to a woman. They were both in Nigeria. So after they got married, they stayed a while, and he came to the U.S. Got settled in 3 years, 4 years, and went back to Nigeria to bring his wife. Before that time, he said he has traveled, came back. So the other time he went, okay, let me do every necessary thing and bring my wife. They've been married legally, traditional white wedding, everything. He found out that the wife was with a baby, not even pregnant. She had bore a baby girl. She gave birth to a baby
For
girl.
who? For who?
Oh, so that one now you're shouting for who?
Exactly.
You
Let's
have
know
to be your
now.
brother's keeper. You're shouting for who? Let me tell you the story
Proceed.
finish now. So
Proceed.
he
Okay.
found out that the wife had a baby girl that she just delivered.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing the last time she came, knowing the last time he came, he found out the wife had a baby girl that she just delivered. And knowing the last time he came to Nigeria, that could not have been his child. And then the question started. The woman started begging that it was her ex-boyfriend that impregnated her. He was so disappointed. Then the woman's family added and said, it is distance. If she was with you, she would not, if she was with you, living with you, she would not do that. She would not have any time to go back to her ex-boyfriend and everything. So he thought about this thing and decided to forgive the man because he's a good man. He decided to forgive his wife, accepted the baby, and then he brought the wife and the baby girl as his own child then to the US. So they all came to the US and she gave birth to other children here for him. About 3 more children or something, or 2. No, 2 more children for him. Now, the thing is, before he brought her here, he told her to make a promise that she would never talk to the ex-boyfriend again. And she promised and said he's going to adopt the child to become his child. And then she promises and says that the ex-boyfriend will never have any, way of communication with them. But then the wife came here and did not do that. She kept talking to the ex-boyfriend, sometimes on video calls. And a few years when they came here, there's, issues with that, those communications. And the wife, wanting to get out of his life so quickly, lied that he touched the daughter inappropriately, and wants to get abused. Is it waiver? They call it a vow or something like that. Vow, right? Something like that. To get a vow, so she made the allegations. Down the lane, they discovered that was lie after doing series of tests and investigations that she lied on him. And because of that, the green card that she wanted to get through the vow was not approved. So now the wife has to fall back to him as wife, of course, to give her the green card legally. If you are the man, Success movie, when
Yes,
you found out
present.
that the wife got pregnant for your fellow brother, would you forgive and still bring her to the US? And after bringing her to the US, she did not keep to the promise she made to you, and now she needs her papers, so she was denied after setting you up. Would you forgive this woman and resolve this conflict?
Hell no. Hell no.
Wow.
Why? I'll give you reason. I'll give you reason. When you gave illustration of business, there was no life that was brought into this earth, right? Now, a man paid bride price, and the woman left to have a baby for another man for whatever reason, right? You see that woman, that bride price, then go bring her back. Quick. That is number one. Visa, and in fact, she will not even near airport talk more of coming to America. Am I stupid? Am I stupid? It will never happen that way now. Do you know what is called bride price? A man gathered his own money to come and marry you, to remove you from poverty, right? Then the goodness, the reward is to go and have. Do you know that sex, extramarital sex, is a crime before God and the human, right?
Wow.
Let's be
Support
very,
your
very
wife's
clear.
ex-boyfriend. Men supporting men. Support your wife's ex-boyfriend. Simple.
There you go. This is contradictory because, excuse me, because in that situation, she said the woman emptied her account, gave the money to the man, and he gave it to his girlfriend. And you said it was okay.
This
So
is
did
money.
they not have extramarital?
This is materialistic things. This is no. There was no life. No life was involved. No life. The man did not
No,
have
but
a
you
child.
said extramarital sex, but it was also happening in that relationship where the wife gave the money to her husband and he was funding his mistress. They were still intimate. So
But they
why
never
was
had
it
a,
okay?
but they never had a child. They never
No,
had a child.
but you said extramarital sex because it was still happening in that one, whether that child was born
Exactly.
or not. It was still intimate.
Samuri,
Huh?
extramarital sex,
Mm.
is it for only the man or the woman?
Because you
Or both
just
of them?
said it's a sin. So why
Uh,
was it not a sin in that other situation? You see how you're
okay.
contradicting yourself? I'm sorry.
Listen, I'm not contradicting. There are so many things we have to put into consideration. First, one, extramarital sex before God is a sin. Okay, I must be clear about that. Now, for a man, for some certain reasons, some medical, biological reasons, right? I think it will be advisable for a man to go and get more of that aspect, right? So, for medical reasons or health-wise, it is advisable.
So it does not
Man,
exist anymore.
wait, women does not suffer anything for any side effects for not having sex or for not
Yes.
having it adequately. All right, but men suffer
You're
something.
wrong
Let's be
about
clear
that.
about it.
Very wrong. It's not true.
Yeah?
It's not true.
It's not true. We
It's not
just saw
true.
a man that said that if a man does not satisfy himself 21 times, I don't just want to go deep into it,
So
that the man
not
is
about that.
What
I'm telling
research?
you the truth
Which
for the
research
woman.
proves
Samuri,
that?
so is that your final answer, right?
my
That is
final
why.
answer
Is that how
is that
you resolve the
if my
question?
final answer is that everybody should hear me clearly, that if a man pays a bride price for a woman, right, and the woman go ahead to, if that your ex was that too good, if that ex was too good, why didn't she marry that ex? Let's be very clear. That is cheating. That is wickedness. A man paid your bride price, want to spend his resources to bring you to America for a better life. A better life. Oh. Now we are talking of a husband and wife that lives in America. They borrow money, they have source of paying back. This one now, the man is the solo man that is trying to champion the whole thing to bring you to America. Then you now went and got pregnant. The one where you go do extramarital sex, no, never still finish. You can't go get picking on top. No. Family will not settle that matter. Sorry.
All right. God bless you. Thank you for joining me and giving this thing. Let me bring
Thank
somebody
you.
else. Thank you. So,
How will I cancel myself?
let me see.
Okay, now I've finished.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Samuri, God bless you. You know, some of all these men, their mentality is so messed up, and that's why we're having the issues we're having.
Whoa.
Don't think the way they think. Don't see the best way to enjoy your marriage is don't think you have a personality that is higher than the other person, meaning you feel that anything will go with you because you're this gender. That's where we have issues. You know, no accountability. I am this gender. I have the rights. When we have people who think that way, we begin to have issues in marriage. And I'd like to give the woman of God the opportunity to tell me, this man, this is a true life story. I know this person a one-on-one. How would you advise him? You know, the woman is coming back and saying, forgive me, I was wrong and everything. How would you advise?
Okay. So the number one thing is that he made a very big mistake. All he should have owed her was forgiveness, and that's it. Because even as a woman, as a young woman, this is your ex. Okay? So what led to the breakup of that relationship in the first place? We don't know, and it's irrelevant. Now, after the relationship broke up, you are single. this man meets you, marries you, just that status change, you should be able, because even as a Christian woman, unmarried, and the Bible says, whatsoever you desire, when you pray and believe that you have received it, you have it. So you are a single woman. You want to get married. You've asked God for marriage, and then you are intentional about it. You should behave, carry yourself like a married woman. So there are certain things you can do. There are certain places you can go. There are certain men you can talk to. Why? Because you are already somebody's wife. It doesn't matter that that man has not manifested, but you should carry yourself because you are in alignment spiritually. You're telling God, what I have asked you for, I have received, even though it has not materialized. So now we're talking about a woman that has already been married by a man. The bride price has been paid. Just because he's out of sight, you couldn't control yourself. Just knowing that you're somebody's wife is enough. So that man should know, that was a very big red flag. He should not have married her. That's my thing. What he should have done was, after whatever even the family, I'm even disappointed at the woman's family because you were gone. So that means they were condoning her behavior. There was absolutely no reason for that. The man should have forgiven her, but he should have moved on.
You
That would
support
be
what the
my,
woman
that
of
would
God
be me.
says?
Yes, I support what she says. The man should have forgiven her and let her go and then move on with his
Yeah.
life. Because if she can do such a thing, there is no guarantee that she's going to be faithful to you. She should have ended the marriage in Nigeria and then move on with his life. Why she can go be with her ex?
That's right. If he was that good, yes,
Okay.
then go be with him.
So let me throw a little light and also ask the woman of God to throw a little light. I know she's going for something very soon. Please let me know before, so I know you have something you told me about though. Intimacy and affection in marriage. We're talking about intimacy, and I told, as I said, it's not only sex that is described as intimacy. Sometimes it could be how you feel about each other, how you carry yourselves, your closeness to each other. Are there third parties? Do you get your stuff resolved, yourselves when there's an issue? So it's not just, oh, I sleep with her, now I have sex. If sex is intimacy, then everybody you've had sex with in the past should, be intimate with you. So this is, part of the things we're saying. It's part of the issues that I want to say, how do we resolve it? Now, before I say this, there are so many stories, being in my office, there's so many things I have had to hear that goes on in marriages, and I'm just using them sometimes to, advise us. Can another man or woman be comfortable in insulting your wife? If your spouse here, the moment somebody else is comfortable in insulting your wife or your husband, know that you have disrespected them before the other one. You've lost affection for her or for him, and you've given the space, for others to be able to throw those garbage, on them, even publicly or secretly. I know a woman who said the husband's girlfriend insulted her, showed messages of the insult she has, and those insults were things that some of them are true, how they have lived as couples, and some of them were fabricated. And she said she broke down. So if you love your wife, if you have affection for her, you would not do this. You don't resolve a conflict by carrying your personal issues with this person to another person. A woman of God, if you have if you have to advise somebody who comes crying to you and shows you a message of the many insults that the husband's girlfriend insulted her, what would you advise her? We have to keep this marriage. We don't have to let go easily. But how would you tell her to resolve that conflict?
Okay. So, one thing is sometimes we speak out of pain. And again, like I said, in communication, no matter what, you don't throw punches. And that's why sometimes, like I always say, process. Because after you have processed something, it kind of like gives the anger time to settle in a little bit. And you realize that you're more in a better frame of mind, and you're better able to handle the situation. So we not also be intentional when we're talking to someone. Instead of saying you did this, it's better to say this is how I felt when you did this? You know, so as a married woman, and that's why, unfortunately, sometimes women don't even share things with their husbands because they say, oh, the day you guys will quarrel, he will use it against you. And that shouldn't be, because even the Bible said about Adam and Eve, they were both naked and they were not ashamed. That nakedness goes beyond removing your clothes. It also talks about transparency. If I cannot, there is a question that I may ask someone: would you marry somebody that is not your friend? Because a friend is somebody you trust. A friend is somebody that you know that whether I'm there or not, they watch my back. I don't have to pretend to be who I'm not. But if you cannot answer this question, that he is my best friend, then that's somebody you should never marry. Or if you can say she is my best friend, then that's somebody you should never marry, because they should be able to watch your back and defend you. And even defending means also with your family members and his family members. So when you see a situation where a woman is disrespected by the man's family, he has no respect for her. When you see a situation where a man is disrespected by the wife's family, she has no respect for him. Boundaries. So when you now have a situation like this, going back, I wasn't trying to digress. I was just trying to bring everything so that at the end of the day, I can just align them. So now when you have a situation where this happened, what the woman can do as a mature woman, you can come to your husband, not yelling, throwing, accusing, because it's going to make things worse. You know, let him know how you feel by what happened. This is how I felt. I felt betrayed, or I feel betrayed because you're my husband, my closest person. You know, what I can't even tell my mother, I told you, because I felt that, you know, you are my greatest, you know, my confidant, my this, my that. And this is how this makes me feel. I feel so betrayed that in the future, I'm afraid that I may not even be able to share things with you. How do you expect, or how can I be your wife and I'm keeping secrets from you? Or how would I expect you to keep secrets if you don't trust that I can guard? No matter what our differences or the conflict we have had, you know, it wouldn't be okay for me as your wife to go and tell somebody else what you told me in confidence as a wife. Then I have betrayed that position of a wife. And this is exactly how I feel right now. So you're taking it away from, but when you say this is what you did to me, then you're creating more. That's why I always say communication is key to whether a marriage is going to stand or not. So tell him how that made you feel and why you felt that way. Because I think I've told you, I've said something like this before. Sometimes it's not what is done that breaks somebody's heart, but who did it. There are certain things your mother would do to you that will literally kill you. But if somebody else did something worse, you won't even bother
about it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So
yeah. So I want to just jump. I want to highlight, because of time. I want to leave here like in 30 minutes time. If we have to revisit a little bit on this topic some other time, we will. One of the issues that arises where we have conflict is trust and loyalty. I'm going to summarize how we can actually resolve them before we go today. Trust and loyalty, that's some kind of, comprised of like infidelity, which she has mentioned, and we've talked about trust, and when this trust is breached. There's so many stories about infidelity that I will highlight, but infidelity itself is a topic, is too much a big one. We can't, discuss it right now, fully. So we'll have a day that we'll talk about infidelity itself. Values and lifestyles. Some people would say, this is my life. You cannot, there's a particular man that I heard, he tells his wife every time that you cannot teach an old dog a new trick. That is his constant words and reaction when the wife tries to put things he's doing. He say, you can't teach an old dog a new trick. Wow. And the very bad thing is the old dog is not making headways. That's to tell the old dog that he needs to change his tactics, and he needs to learn a new trick. These days you see people, just go see comedians that were there, before this content creators these days and everything. You see them trying to readjust and everything, remodernize what they do, and be in vogue. You have to stay. You have to stay in vogue. You have to stay in place. You know, with the new tricks, with the new generation. So yes, we can teach an old dog a new trick. As a matter of fact, if the old trick with the old dog is not, you know, it's not doing anything good for you, and if no one can tell you what to do and how to live, just stay alone. If nobody can control you, as a matter of fact, in marriage, we control each other with love and with affection and everything. Whatever the other person does or say must influence you and your decision, and yours too influences theirs. But if you're so static, if you're a stone, nobody they tell you what to do. I don't think you need to be married. If you're too big a man, you're too big a woman, your shoulders are too high, you don't deserve to be married. Just stay away, because stay away from marriage, because marriage, we have to do it together. I influence you, you influence me, we make decisions together as spouses. When I say stay away, I'm not saying stay away. I'm saying change your bad character so that you can get married. Because I'm the host for Get Married, Stay Married. So we are getting married. We are not staying out of married. And we are staying married. We're not staying out of married. So please don't say, Mama says stay away and you have to stay away. No, don't stay away. Now, to summarize ways that we can resolve this conflict, I want to say, before I ask a few questions, I want to say one of the ways to quickly resolve a conflict is to reverse the situation. I was just thinking about it in my head, and I said most people don't put themselves in the other person's shoe during a conflict or when they do things. So, and I told myself today when I said, you know what? If everybody can reverse the situation and put themselves in that place or that spot, if you know work, I beg, leave the marriage. Mr. Black Mentor. Yeah, we will do better in decision making and in resolving that conflict, you know, easily. So reverse the situation. Understand that no one has the right or monopoly or the license to offend the other person. Nobody, absolutely nobody. When you switch the situation at hand by putting yourself in the other person's shoes, then you can ask yourself, if this is done to me, how would I feel? Is this fair? I am telling you, if you have not gotten to the point where you can feel the other person's emotion or reverse it, then there's no way you can resolve that conflict easily, because I would say you're a very selfish person. It's all about you. So learn sometimes in your marriage, in your relationship, do not call the other person a consistent nagging partner. Sometimes put yourself in the situation of what is going on and ask yourself, if this happens, will I nag? Will I take it? Will I like it? Okay? There's a man who calls everybody ahead, because everybody insults his wife and says all sort of things about her. Oh, she's not peaceful. Oh, she nags. Oh, da 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 da. And this is the same man that is said, or the wife says that he's sleeping with other people's wife that comes around. Woman comes to, to her house and everything. His girls, like, it's so terrible. And when she talks, she nags. What is actually this nagging? Put yourself in your shoes. If you caught your wife doing what you are doing to her, how would you react? And don't you think I'm the man, I can do it? Like I said, you don't have the license, except there's a clause. Except you now demand for a clause in your license, in your marriage license, that says, I can do this, put it there. Then you can. But if that license was not given, please don't think you are licensed to do certain things that the other person cannot. Like one of my daughter will come here, everything you do to me, I'll do to you. Is that the best way? No. Is that how we resolve conflicts? No. But just have it at your mind and say, you can continue to do this thing to this person, and there's a threshold for everything. One day when it gets to that point, what happened? It got to the point of no return. So let's be very careful. Put yourself in the other person's situation. When you put yourself in the other person's, situation, you reverse the situation right there and put yourself there, then there's something that comes out. You would not be defensive. People are defensive because they cannot feel the pains of the other person. Sure. So before you can resolve conflict, switch the situation around. Then ask yourself, will I be quiet even if the other person was shouting? Because I know I messed up. Or would I, try to resolve this thing? Would I be defensive? So when you do that, you will not be defensive, because one of the ways conflict linger in relationship and in marriages is because we become defensive to what we have done. And when we become defensive, We are not, you cannot be penetratable. Nobody can penetrate into your heart or your thoughtful or your conscience, and that is an issue. So please, when we have issues in our relationship, do not be defensive. Listen to the other person like she has said. And when you are listening, listen to understand,
Mm-hmm.
not listen to put points where you use to counter what they are saying. When you continue to counter, we are not getting anything fixed. So when you're listening, the reason why James is it James 1:19? Yes, says, be quick to listen, be slow to speak, and be slow to anger. So and this is just James telling us, this is one of the things that the Bible is saying, this is how to resolve conflict. Be quick to listen. Quick. And every other thing is slow. Let your anger, your emotions, the anger is the emotions you have after doing conflicts. And then this talking is, you don't even let the other person talk. As they're talking, you're talking. You're not, even when I'm talking and you're talking, nobody is getting anything. We are both shouting. And when we shout, we're not resolving a conflict. So please, when there's a conflict, calm down. Whether you think you are at fault or not, calm down. Don't be defensive. Hear them out. They might be saying just one thing that is right, and then you can pick that point and talk and resolve the conflict easily. Another thing is avoid the blame game. Just like what this person says now. Oh, this person is this thing is no. Avoid blame game. If you're wrong, do not say I was wrong because of what you did or said. That is the blame game. And when you do that, you can never accept responsibility. And when you never accept responsibility, you cannot outgrow a certain stage in your life. You are just there. I'm telling you, there are so many people that they are messy. Their thought is so messy because they are always defensive. They have a reason why they do everything. And one thing I want to tell you people, you will think that you're dealing with your spouse. But let me tell you, it doesn't just end there, because you're also producing seeds with those your spouse. There is a trait of you in every child that you give birth to. I'm telling us today, we should change, not just because of us. Let's say you don't like your wife, you don't like your husband. I will deal with him. Remember that your seed has a trait. If you can use DNA to find out the father of a child, you think it ends there? It means that you can use character to figure out the father of a child. You can use the behavior of a child to figure out who the father is. Sometimes they behave alike. And sometimes those behaviors are obvious even from childhood. But you're thinking, it's just stubborn. It's not just stubborn, it's you. The thing is because you are not movable, because you're so adhering to what you think is right. And it's not right, and but your head just wants to tell you it's right. You give birth to children like you. Some of us will pray out your spirit in the life of our children if your character is not good. Because let's say I'm married to you now, your character is bad, I will not come and inherit what I am not. So why I'm saying this is, I have seen so many children that end up behaving like their fathers or their mothers. Change because of the offspring you're bringing forth. And one thing you should know is, you think you are gone, but you are held responsible for the mess you did not clear up. David gave birth to people like him. When they say David like woman, when they're good like me, when they are challenging now their mother, they look like, okay, you see it now. When they are bad, they are just their mother. You see people now. David gave birth to children that had his traits. Without everything, how did they end? All painful. David liked women, collect person wife, send them to go, to go die, led him to his death, told them what to do because of a woman. The same David had his first son sleep with his own daughter. Woman. The trait was there. He fought a lot of battles. He had children that fought battles, even took him out of his own palace. You give birth to what you are. And I'm telling you guys, some of the women that are promiscuous, they jump from one man to another, check their mother or check their father. One of them is promiscuous. Who tell you say David goes? Say people as if black mentor. Say, but David went to heaven. I'll respond to that answer later. You see? So stop it, please. When you start having children, you're no more entitled to the decisions you make and you live your life however you please. No, you have to live your life in a way that to please everybody around you and leave a good seed around them. There's a child, when you ask this child, I was talking to this child, who shouts in the house? She said it's daddy that is always shouting on, shouting on mommy in the house. She's already saying.
Wow.
And I felt so bad when I heard that from that child. So what footprint are we leaving? We're talking about resolving conflict. Resolving conflicts. What footprint are we leaving? If you don't love your wife enough, if you don't love your husband enough, please love your children enough to change certain habits. Please, I beg you in the name of God, love your children at least enough to change certain habits. If your habit is the reason why your family get displaced, then shame on you. Don't come and tell me my wife left me. You refuse to change that thing you kept doing. She tried to resolve the conflict with you. You were so hard-headed. You wanted to you cannot keep so many things at one time in your little hands. But you know what? You can let so many things go and just grab that thing you know you need. Family is big. Family is everything. If your consistent behavior is tearing your family apart, if you don't love your wife enough or your husband enough to fix it, love your children enough to fix the family, because they want to grow knowing that you are around and knowing that you are there. And you are the first example that they see when they grow up. It's not the teachers, it's you. You are the first example. And those examples are not even by words, they are by sight, what they see. And let me tell you, children don't learn by what you tell them. Sit like this, sit. No, they learn by what they see you do. That's how they learn. Woman of God, do we agree with this, or do you have something to
Yeah.
add?
No, it's true. It's true. They don't hear you, they watch
They
you.
watch you.
Yeah.
Because she works with
Learn
children. She's a
behavior.
specialist. So that's, she's going to tell you that even more.
It's called learned behavior.
It's called what?
Learned behavior.
Learned behavior. So you see, your daughter now is always shouting and is not a quiet person, is always talking because you as the father or the mother, you're always talking. Mr. Black Mentor, God bless you. I hope you give us money now after this show. You're owing me. Oh. Let me not shout now. Come and bless us. Oh. Let me not shout. You have money. God bless you. Another one is control your emotions. Don't unload it on the other one. Look, I understand that sometimes the person you got married to is a very difficult person, but sometimes your emotions can make them even more difficult. Control it. I understand that sometimes they deal with you, but still, Tim, control your emotions. Learn when to react and when not to. And even when you react, do not overreact that your reaction will not outburst or outdo the situation. Sometimes it's just a little thing, but your reaction now has overshadowed what they did. And you gave no room for I am sorry because you reacted too hastily, because your reactions was, it was too much. You asked, is this the small thing? Is it a small thing they did? Are they owe the whole Nigeria? You should all vote me as president. Say if you come out as president, we'll talk am now. Yeah. We'll go day. We'll day by your side. I mean, we need a better country in Nigeria, actually. Compromise. I think we've said this in the context of what we're saying. Compromise. Compromise. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you. Compromise. Sometimes we always say we cannot shift grounds. We have to compromise in marriage. The other person is not perfect, you're not perfect. You understand? You know how you sleep on the bed with your husband or with your spouse, and the bed is not, maybe sometimes not too big enough, and you're clashing. Sometimes you rearrange your body to give space to the other person. That is how our marriage should look like. Rearrange a little bit. Don't say, no, rearrange. Adjust a little bit if you love your partner. It's not like you're foolish. It's not like you're not wise. It's just giving room for the other person, to fit into that space with you and all. What else? Don't badmouth your spouse. I see most of the things that triggers people now. You have little issues, the whole world has heard it. And talking about this bad mouth, I'm going to ask somebody a question before we go. I think this is the last question I'm going to ask before we go. A particular man, now the marriage actually ended. Unfortunately, it's a sad story. So many ups and downs that, they could not fix. And this man, is known for always backbiting the wife, actually. So there was this time they had a situation, and one of the things that she said he does is to call everybody close to her and to tell them, don't go close to my wife. And when they're like, why? What? She has not done nothing. He would look for things to tell them that she said or did against them,
Wow.
whether it is true or not. She
Mm.
said currently, so many people that were close to her, they are no longer talking to her because he calls them. He called one of them. That one even came to her notice later and told that one that my wife said you tried to molest the sister.
Wow.
Now she said, this person, I don't have issues with him. And we discussed this thing like over a year ago on the bed as husband and wife. And I told you what my sister has told me about this person. And then, because we have issue now, you didn't tell the man over a year ago. And because he supports your wife, and everything, he doesn't have issues with her. You now called him over a year after and said, dude, this is what my wife said about you. Some men are demons.
Wow.
That is not protecting at
Epic.
all. When you do things like that, you do not leave, you don't give grounds for settlement, because you've caused so many havoc. The woman said part of the reason why she left the man is not because he's cheating, because she cannot stop him. That these are the things. The hatred was too much. She said she has a program that somebody comes and supports her and all. That the man called one of the people that support her and said, leave my wife. This is what she said about you. If you don't leave her, it means you're sleeping with her. The guy said, I don't want issues. And, he called her and left her, her. So when we destroy every other branches and every other thing like that during a conflict, we are making it very impossible to tame that fire that is burning, to remain married. I'm saying this, please, no matter how hot you are with your husband or your wife, if you even have to call somebody, let it be that you're calling somebody to say, look at what is going on. How can you better advise me to fix it? Don't call people out of malice and tell them, you are going to help her. This is what she said about you. Come on, there's no other way to sell a spouse than this. It is wrong. It is wrong. When she told me, I didn't even know what advice to give. I was like, this man is out of it. Is out of control. This is where we're going to end today, except you have something to add, and we can just round up. Thank you all for joining. Man of God, do you have something to add?
Um, there was something you said towards the end that really caught my attention, because you used the analogy of the bed. That, as a married couple, the bed may not even be that big enough to contain both, but you adjust so that, each person. Because when you do that, it's not really your comfort you're seeking,
Yes.
it's your partner's
Yes.
comfort. And that is love. And when we do that, when we have that intentionality and mindset in marriage, where you're consistently seeking the comfort of your partner, you're giving them room to thrive. And when someone thrives, who's gonna be the one that will reap the fruits? It's you.
Yeah.
So when we go in marriage, instead of looking out for myself, I think we should make it the other way around. How can I make this person? There is a story. There's this lady I know. She grew up in a very like diplomatic background and stuff like. But anyway, the thing is, when she got married, it was all she said, fight, fight, fight. One day she decided, I don't think I want this, and she focused on herself. And what happened when she now decided to soft answer this, does that, she was intentional about her responses and reactions. Overnight, it's like she saw a totally, totally different man. And if you see them today, you won't believe that couple has been married for almost 30
Wow.
years. Why? Because the woman decided to now focus on how to
Thanks.
be a better wife. And the husband was shocked because he saw the change. And what happened? That's what it was like. Her change was a catalyst for his own change. And today, this couple, you wouldn't believe, like I said, they are close to 30 years in marriage. Like every year, their marriage is getting younger and
Wow.
sweeter.
Wow, that's a man that wants to actually make a marriage work, and bless them. Thank you so much. I want to also react to some comment that I saw. Mr. Black Mentor, God bless you. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Finding time to watch us for over, almost 2 hours. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to hosting you too. Let's talk one day. It's not real estate. I don't know too much about real estate, but we'll talk about marriage. I know you're married, and we'll talk about relationship. I know maybe every other thing that can help benefit people in terms of making money here in the US and outside the US. And Sexy Marie, thank you so much too. I did not put you in a box. Stop it. You just came and you were just, Jesus Christ, you were so biased. You cannot tell us that a man who is giving money to another woman, his sister's helping sister. So the wife should understand. That's a very biased mindset. But God bless you all the same. Thank you everybody that joined. I want to also tell you that next week we're going to continue this, a different topic actually, and it's going to be an interesting time on Insights. You can join me next week, same time, 1 p.m. CST and 7 p.m. NGT, and request to join me if you want to be on the platform and discuss with me, share stuffs with me, ask questions, any question you have to ask me, and I'll also ask you a question. Most of the men that come here say I put them on a box. Last time that I hosted somebody, Mr. Chinedu Anichi, he was shouting. And I know when men shout, sometimes it's defensive. No, don't put me on the box. Let me talk. Like when they're saying something that is not true, they just want to defend by shouting. But we don't we don't communicate by shouting actually. But he's a very sweet soul. We had a very wonderful time here. Thank you, everybody. I want to join you live, but I'm shy. Stanley, next time join me. Don't be shy. You're not more shy than me. I'm telling you, you will not understand. You are not even close to shy like I am. But look at me, I'm doing this. God bless you all. Thank you. And may God keep your homes. May God teach you ways to resolve the conflicts in your marriages. May those conflicts not linger in the mighty name of Jesus. Everything that is causing the constant fights and issues in your marriage, may God take it away today in the mighty name of Jesus and bring wholeness to that family. Who wants people to remain married. If you're in your marriage, please remain married. If it's fixable, please be there. Your children need you in that marriage. There's so many things. So the devil is fighting our marriages. That's what you should understand. So be there if it's fixable. Except your life is at risk and your emotional whole thing. You see that it's not, then you can make decisions there. I won't hold you to that. But if you can fix things, please fix things and be there. And I have one advice for everybody. If you've been married before and you're currently divorced, please don't be bitter about it. You can still get married again, because we'll carry a lot of these baggages and just put this defense, a wall around our lives, and we'll begin to grow in bitterness. Look, the only thing that can take away bitterness is love. And the only way you can get love is being open to love and not antagonizing love. When you continue to antagonize love, let's say your wife dealt with you in the past and you got out of the marriage, or your husband dealt with you and you're out of the marriage, and now you're now a prophet of don't love again, don't get married again. You're now singing, or you're bringing your personal issues and trying to discourage others that has not even experienced it, not to experience true love. You are putting a wall around you, and it's will be difficult for you to be loved again or to even love. So no matter what you have been through, you don't understand. Maybe God took you out of the situation to give you, or to give you to somebody better, to connect you with somebody better that is going to be vital to your destiny. But when you start destroying the covenant of marriage and saying a lot of things about people getting married, you are also destroying yourself. You're not giving yourself the space to experience something beautiful. So please, if you're out of marriage, you can still love again. You can still find love. Okay? And to those who are hurting and to those who are happy, we are all in this together. Okay? There's this song I love to sing. We're all in this together. So we're all in this together. Don't give up. God bless you. Bye-bye. Woman of God, take care of yourself. I love you so much. I'll talk to you after the program. Official Nina, God bless you. Love you, girl. Talk to you later.